welcome to our very first ever podcast. I am Shar.
And I am Cindy.
And we are B2s.
Yes. You may wonder what is a B2.
Mm-hmm.
That means bestest buddies. We've been bestest buddies since we were 6, and we're significantly older than that now.
By a year or two.
Just, a little bit.
So I think we should explain a little bit more on the B2 thing. And also, do you remember B3?
I do. So everyone, listeners, you remember the intricate notes that you used to pass in class, middle school, you'd fold them, you had the little tab you pulled. Anyway, so we would always put at the beginning, Dear Bestest Buddy. And then at the end of the notes, we would put Bestest Buddy. And so we thought, why don't we abbreviate? So Dear B2, Dear Bestest Buddy. And at the end, Bye Bestest Buddy is B3. Were we learning like algebra at the time or something?
I was probably failing algebra, and you were probably getting A's in algebra.
Helping you with your homework, maybe.
Helping me with my homework, for sure. Yeah, so everybody did BFF, and we don't want to be like everybody else. So we decided we need our own thing and came up with B2.
Absolutely. So this podcast, we were born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, and influenced by the 90s, and we love reminiscing. And we figured you would like to too. So you can join us and reminisce also. You can laugh with us, laugh at us, just have fun. So
Definitely
we'll be here for probably about 30 minutes. So
I don't know. We get long-winded. That's the great thing. So when you've been friends with somebody for like 40 plus years, 45 years, somewhere around in there, you have a lot of stories to tell. You think like, oh, do you have 5 minutes for a quick call? And then an hour and 20 minutes later, it's like, shit, wait, I have cookies in the oven.
Yes.
Okay.
Girl Scout cookies.
My God. Okay.
We were in Girl Scouts together.
But here's the thing with Girl Scout cookies now. First of all, I have a whole issue with Girl Scout cookies now. First of all, when we were Girl Scouts, it was $1 for a box of cookies. And the sleeves were like this long.
Yeah.
Now you pay, $8 for a box of cookies? And the sleeves are this long. Yeah. And also, we went door to door. We didn't stand in front of the grocery store or our parents selling our cookies. We had to
work.
Do that shit on our own.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So,
well, I don't know if you remember this part, but this is how it used to be. They didn't prepay. So you ordered and you took them and they wrote you a check. Yeah, and they didn't bounce.
Right. That's right. Don't drop this.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. So, but every time I pass a Girl Scout cookie stand, God damn it, I buy cookies.
Yeah. Thin Mints.
100% Thin Mints.
What are the tag-alongs?
The peanut butter ones?
Yep.
Yeah. So I will say, though, there were several years that I won the award for selling the most cookies. But for one, I had a family of 18 million that lived in the same town. Yes. So all of my aunts and uncles always bought cookies. But also my mom worked at the school. So she would take my sign-up sheet and other teachers would end up buying from me. So
I only got,
a little bit.
Well, hey, you do what you got to do. You hustle. Well, there was one year that I won. You remember that the little stuffed animal would be the best prize ever?
Oh, yeah.
Or at least it was to me. I always wanted it.
Wait, and I won a trip to Hawaii. You only got a stuffed animal?
No, you didn't. No, she didn't. So one year I got kookaburra. Do you remember that year? I was so excited. I got this. I sold probably 500 boxes of cookies for them, and I got this little stuffed animal, and I was so excited.
Yeah. You did have to sell a shit ton of cookies to get any kind of recognition.
Oh, yes. Yeah. You sell 5 boxes. Here's a pencil.
Not even a pencil. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
They're here's a pat on the back. Good
right.
job.
Do you remember in school when they'd have us sell magazine subscriptions?
Yes. And can you imagine that nowadays? Somebody comes on my door. First of all, I'm looking at my camera. Who the hell's at my front door? Why is somebody knocking on my door?
You're not answering it.
No. And then, you're selling magazines. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember we'd win those we'd win pencils, but we'd also win those little puff balls with the eyeballs. It was like a sticker with feet. Those were so exciting.
Yeah. Oh my God.
right?
My mom had several of them on her dashboard in her car. Didn't they have a little tag that said
Yeah,
something on them
yeah,
also?
they did. I don't
Oh my
remember what they
God.
said.
Oh my God. Remember also in band, uh, side note, Cindy and Shar were band geeks in
Yeah.
school.
This one
But
time at band camp. Just kidding. We didn't go to band camp.
we did not. We went to Christian camp and Girl Scout camp,
But
never
they
band
might
camp.
have been as bad.
This is true. But do you remember when we sold the chocolates? The chocolate bars in band? World's
Yes.
finest?
Yes.
Yeah. And those were like $1 a bar also.
Oh, yes. Yes.
What was that for? Where did the money go?
Probably our stupid outfits we had to wear when we were marching. Do you remember?
Okay.
It was like the middle of summer in Northern California. Polyester. Remember we had those navy blue, it was a cowboy hat with one side that stuck up like this and the other side went straight out and it looked like a suit.
Yes. And with
I
the
was
thing
sweating.
Okay, so Cindy, you need to find some pictures of this because I know you have pictures of us in band.
Okay.
And we need to post them on our social media for the people to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And we would love for our listeners to post their pictures as well.
Absolutely. So, real quick on band. Do you remember I started with the clarinet and then decided
Yes.
I decided just in time for marching band, I'm going to play the bass clarinet.
Yes.
So,
it was as tall as you.
Fun fact, Char's 5'2". And in 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, I was probably, I don't know, 4'10", maybe shorter. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I decided to play the bass clarinet then. And do you remember your mom joking that she was going to put wheels on the bottom of my bass clarinet for me?
Yes. That would have been helpful.
It would have been helpful because that bitch was heavy. And I walked to school during the time too. So
do you remember? So the reason I started band in 5th grade is because I always wanted to play the saxophone. Mm-hmm. And that's all I wanted to do. And the teacher, who we know who he was, and he wasn't very friendly.
He was an asshole.
Yes. So he made me start with the clarinet. And he said, if you can master the clarinet, then I'll let you play the saxophone. Because remember, he only had boys playing saxophone. We had like 2.
Don't remember that. But
oh, yeah. All the boys got to play the brass.
So the teacher was the one that said, no, you have to start with the clarinet?
Yes. When I was in 5th grade.
That.
Yes. And I didn't want to play the clarinet. So I played the clarinet all the way up to, was it 7th or 8th grade? And I was second chair.
For sure, 8th.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, then 8th grade. And I was second chair, which, okay, I was the second from the best one. And so I went to him and I said, okay, I'm ready now, 3 years later, to play the saxophone because that's all I've ever wanted to do. And I bought one at a garage sale for $10 and I taught myself how to play it. It's not that amazing. It's similar to the clarinet. So I'm not a genius, a musical genius or anything. But so it was all rusty. It was so funny. But so I was so excited. And he's like, no, I need you to play clarinet. And that's when I quit. And do you remember?
Oh.
Everybody quit with me?
No.
Yes.
Oh, maybe I did quit in 8th
Yes.
grade too,
I because I can get people riled up pretty easily. So I got people all riled up.
My job.
Right. And so like 4 or 5 people quit with us. And I remember I got called into the principal's office and he's like, we have a concert coming up and you all quit. We need you to
Cindy, I do not remember this at all. This is hilarious.
Oh my God. I remember something that you don't remember. Yeah. And we didn't. I said, no. And I told him why. And do you remember when he threw his baton and hit you?
Yes. Well, remember I ended up leaving class and because he called me out. He asked me a question and I didn't understand what he was asking. So I didn't know the answer. And then he embarrassed me because I didn't know the answer and he threw his baton and I ended up leaving class and going into because remember the girls' bathroom was right across from the band class.
Yep.
And I just cried. That's probably when I quit band too.
He was such a jerk. And do you remember
really mean.
His fingernails were kind of yellow?
Yeah. He was looking back now, he was a smoker.
And his beard had like yellow.
Yes. But here's a fun fact. There is a study proven that kids that play instruments that know how to read music have a higher IQs. So thank you, band.
Yes.
That's why we're borderline geniuses.
Were we borderline genius and that is why we were able to.
Mm-hmm. That's
Oh, I need a sound effect of like blowing.
I know. I was going to say, where's your sound effect?
Here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I got.
That works. Correct.
Okay.
You are correct.
Correct. Consider your mind blown.
Okay, so one more band story and then we can move on. Okay. So remember when we traveled to do the competitions? Were you in that?
Oh, yeah.
Too?
Yeah. I was.
Yeah, okay. So he said, don't leave your instruments in the band room. Now, again, I walked to and from school and I decided to play bass clarinet and I was like 3 feet tall. So yeah, I freaking left my instrument in the band room every chance I could get. But we were getting on a bus on Saturday morning. The school was going to be locked. So he said, can't leave your instruments here. Guess what I did? I left my instrument in the band room. So we go to this competition and I'm playing bass clarinet. So remember we had I probably shouldn't say his name, but there was somebody in band with us that played the tenor sax and I borrowed his tenor sax to play my bass clarinet part.
Was he cute?
He has one eyebrow that's white.
Oh,
him. Yeah, so
that's my friend.
Yeah, I ended up using his tenor sax and played my part. Needless to say, I did not win any medals that weekend. But anyways, so on with the show.
Okay, so we were talking about middle school and 80s. So that was the 80s, everyone.
Wait,
go ahead.
You did mention the letters that we used to fold.
Yes.
We have a very funny story about this also.
Yes, we do.
You know what I'm going to say?
I do.
Okay, so there was a boy who had a crush on me, which was not normal. But there was a boy that had a crush on me, and he would always write me letters and pass them to me. As soon as he handed it to me, I would run out of the classroom and go straight to you. We would meet in the hall, and we would read the letters together.
Yes.
So then we started receiving letters that said, "Dear Sear Cindy," and whoever else reads these. Yes. Because he would see that I would go straight to you and we would read the letters together. But that was, I think, the one time a boy had a crush on me versus me having a crush on a boy. So I needed to throw that story in.
Well, I have a story that I have to tell you. So we know who my boyfriend was throughout that time.
Terrible. Great guy. Loved him.
Anyway, so I remember he tried to write me. So he was not the best speller, which is fine. But he tried to
play football. Oh, me play football. Okay. Me have meat hooks.
Yes, he was. So anyway, he tried to write me a cute little love note, and so I'm Cindy, but my full name is Cynthia, and so he tried to write "Dear Cynthia," but I guess he didn't know how to spell it, so he wrote "Dear Cindytha." And so that's like anytime I need to make a username on something like on Netflix or whatever, I'm like, Cindytha.
Well, now we all know your username for Netflix.
You don't know my password, though.
Oh, I bet I do.
You probably do, but our listeners don't.
Okay.
So back to the 80s. Okay. I loved the 80s. I also love the 70s and the 90s. So they're all great. And I want to talk about all of them. But we were tomboys at first. And then wearing like jean jacket and the jean jacket. Do you remember my jean jacket?
I do remember your jean jacket.
And it had all I think they call it flare now. It had all the buttons. And one of our teachers, one of my buttons, apparently he felt like was offensive. It said, yes. I love tight buns in 501s. And he always made me take the button off my jacket before he would allow me to come into class. That was 7th grade.
Yeah. I remember one time you came to school and you were wearing your jacket and you pulled Burger King French fries out of the pocket because those were the best fries, which I beg to differ. McDonald's, which this podcast is not sponsored by Burger King or McDonald's.
Unless they want to pay us. Or give us fries.
Hey, I'll take free fries. McDonald's has the best French fries. But I remember you pulled Burger King French fries out of your pocket of your jeans. What, didn't it have like red and black
It was the red and
flannel
black.
on the inside.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I
do
love that
remember.
jacket. You know what
That's
when
one
you
thing
just
that
said
you.
that,
Yeah.
it reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite when he has the tots in his pocket.
Fun fact, he lives here near me.
Oh,
Yeah. I
have you
forget
met
what
him?
his actual real name is, but
John
yeah.
Header.
Yeah, John Heater. Heater.
Oh,
Heater.
okay.
He lives here near me. People run into him all the time.
John Heater, if you're listening to our podcast, please comment and tell us how much
Oh
you
my
like
God.
us.
Right. Also, Tanya Harding is from here too, but we'll save.
Mm.
I don't know that that's our claim to fame.
Yeah, I like my kneecaps where they are.
That teacher that did that to you, that wouldn't let you wear your tight
Yeah.
buns in 501. Do you remember his class?
I
Math?
absolutely do. Yes, I do.
Mhm.
He had so the homework that we had to do, he had recordings on cassette tapes of
Yep.
the answers of every single assignment. And so when it was time to grade your papers, you'd have to pass your paper to whoever behind you or something, and then you'd have to listen to this recording. And he had the most monotone voice.
Yeah, he was like legit robotic. You know what's funny? I went to the same. Okay, so we lived in a small town growing up, and my family was. So the population was maybe 3,000 in the town we grew up, and my family was probably like 2,000 of them. My dad and a bunch of my aunts and uncles all went to the same high school that me and my brother went to.
And my mom.
Oh, and your mom. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And we had a lot of the same teachers that my dad and my uncles had. So my dad's side of the family, they're a little bit of misfits. Well, they were.
Really?
I know, right?
What? Your family is infamous in our hometown? What?
What? But so when I finally got there, so my dad, a bunch of my uncles, they all went there. They wreaked havoc on the school. So then 20 years later, 25, however many long, here comes my brother and some of my male cousins that are going to the school. And they were just like my dad and my uncles.
Equally troublesome.
Equally, yeah. They were misunderstood, Cindy.
Okay.
Okay. So then... So then the next year, I come up to the high school. So my name has a very unique spelling, Sear. Everybody thinks the R should be an N, like they forgot to complete the N. My brother's name is Sean, Sean. So I get there and they're going down the roster, taking attendance, because this is back in the day when they actually did roll call, took attendance, put it on a piece of paper and stuck it on the door. And they would get to my name and they would be like, Sean Obar, like panic
again.
Around. Yeah, panic looking around. They're like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Another Obar?" And then I'm like, "It's Shar. It's Shar Obar." They're like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "I'm not like them. I promise." But that's what I dealt with when I finally got to high school.
Yes, you just didn't get caught.
Yeah, this is true.
We were smart. We
didn't have social media back then either, which made it much better.
Oh God, yeah. Yes, I do feel sorry for kids nowadays because there's video cameras, there's security cameras. I mean, you have to. I mean, your parent can track you on your phone. Oh my God, there's no way.
So you know what's funny? Speaking of tracking, I wasn't allowed to ride with friends in cars. My dad was very strict. There was a lot of things I couldn't do. And one of them was not riding cars with my friends because my dad wasn't stupid. He knows that kids turn into idiots when behind the wheel of a car. The only people I was allowed to ride in a car with was you and my brother. Oh. Yeah. Like, Cindy makes sense. Sean, not so much.
Do you remember when
I stole his car? And came and picked you up from high school?
And you hit that kid's car.
What?
You hit that kid's car, remember?
Oh, yeah.
You're all, shh, don't say it.
Yeah, a very popular football player's car I backed into, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that was scary. No, that was not what I was going to say. Do you remember when he had a dirt bike and all three of us decided to try to ride on it. It was a small dirt bike.
Yeah.
We fell.
We crashed. I remember when my brother was trying to teach me how to ride his dirt bike. He was standing, I was on the dirt bike, and again, I'm like 3 foot nothing. So there was no way I was touching the ground. So he stood beside me and he's like trying to teach me how to do the clutch. Well, I ended up popping the clutch and the bike took off and he couldn't run fast enough to keep up. So he's running after me. He's like, hit the brakes. And I'm like, I had no idea where the brakes were. Like I don't even know how I got it in gear. But then I ended up falling over to get it to stop because I didn't know how to make it stop.
What are you drinking, Char?
I have actually, so it's a local Roost Brewing, which is local here in Portland, Oregon, actually from Vancouver, Washington, and a frosty mug from Waikiki Brewing Company. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a White Rascal from Avery Brewery out of Colorado in a little cooler cup thing. Okay.
So my husband has one of those fancy cooler cup things, but I don't know where it is. So I went for the frosty mug.
Okay.
I do have also a Diet Pepsi, and I do also have a water because I like variety.
You're a thirsty girl. Okay.
I'm thirsty.
Thirst trap.
That has a whole new meaning nowadays, Cindy. You can't call me a thirsty girl because in the 80s, thirsty meant you needed some water. You were parched.
Exactly.
Thirsty
now it's like
now means
you're wanting somebody to comment on your
cock?
No. No, comment.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
And then remember eating cheese pizza with no pizza sauce and cold tomatoes dipped in ranch?
I do.
I think
that
we
was
invented
delicious.
Ranch, dipping your pizza in ranch.
Absolutely. Because, okay, there was no social media. There was no internet back then. Like, how did we know? Nobody showed us that. We invented it. Yeah. Cindy and Char invented dipping your pizza in ranch in Northern California in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Agreed. And pineapple on your pizza.
Yeah. That's a whole nother, that could be an hour-long podcast too, because that's like a deal breaker for some people. If you like pineapple on your pizza, like, how could I ever kiss you again? You're a disgusting human being.
Except that we do like it.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love pineapple on my pizza. I don't. Can you give me another clue? Am I putting you on the spot? A hint? Okay.
I think that we are ready to go. I hope that you all enjoyed listening to our podcast. I hope you got some giggles out of it. If you have any ideas, listeners, about things you'd like us to reminisce about, we would love to hear it. We also have more plans for our show. We have plans to talk about different topics, interview different people with really cool backstories. Today was just kind of about us and about reminiscing, but we'll have other interesting things too.
I think today was an opportunity for the listeners to see who Cindy and Char are.
True.
So this is us. We're kind of nerds. We've been best friends for 45 years. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of stories to tell, but this is like every time we get together, we revert back to 13 years old.
Yes.
But if you liked listening, you need to like us also. You have to like it. We need followers. We need the likes to be able to keep doing it. And also we need help with a name. We're going to try to figure out how to do a poll. So you guys can have a say in it as well. But we hope you enjoyed it. Anytime Cindy and I can get together and talk, it's always fun. It's always a good time. We laugh our asses off. Hopefully you laughed with us, and hopefully you'll join us for our next show.
Oh, wait. I got music. Just
your cat looks evil in the back. Just her eyes.
She kind of is. Let me turn the volume up. We're going to get this, people.
Don't judge.
Okay, here we go.
It kind of sounds like it's in a tunnel, but it works. Thanks.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.